What is up, my friends? How are you guys doing? Welcome back. Thanks for stopping in and hanging out with me and talking about some movies for a little while. Today, guys, we are talking about a movie that just got released on Prime not too long ago. It was released earlier this year, probably abroad or something like that, but it is Deathstalker from 2025. This is a remake of a sword and sorcery film from the early 80s. It has a kind of a cult following of its own, and I have a feeling that this will also have a cult following in the near future. This was one of the best, low budget fantasy films I've seen in a long time. This is brought to us by, what's that guy's name? Steven Kostansli. Anyway, he directed Psycho Gorman, one of my favorite horror movies from the past few years, The Void. He directed Frankie Frico, Manborg. He makes a lot of really, really solid, low-budget horror films, and they all look great. Everything's practical. There's very little CGI, very little, digitally enhanced stuff. Everything is pretty much practical effects, and that is no different in Deathstalker. Like I said, this was a movie from back in the 80s when, there was plenty of TNA going around and fur bikinis and all that kind of thing going on. And this and Conan and The Sword and the Sorcerer, they all just kind of, they're in that genre of fantasy. And Red Sonja, well, Red Sonja just got a remake earlier this year too. And I had the displeasure of watching that, and it was complete trash. There was nothing epic or heroic about it. And while Deathstalker is not necessarily heroic or epic in scope, it is fun to watch because what's the name of the movie, guys? Deathstalker. So there's going to be lots of death. And there's going to be tons of dismemberments. And our opening scene of the film is a decap, right? And then we got, a dude getting his head sawed through. It's just crazy, good, practical gore, and I was there for the whole time. Daniel Bernhardt is Deathstalker. He plays the titular character, if you will, and he's great in it because he just gives off that anti-hero, throw caution to the wind kind of guy, but it also feels very much like Evil Dead. Like he could replace Bruce Campbell as Ash. And that's kind of what this felt like, was like a Mod Podge of the fantasy genre and Evil Dead, because the practical effects were just nasty. They were gross, but they were awesome, just like in Evil Dead. The comedy was solid. This is very funny. It has Patton Oswalt as the voice of one of these creatures that Deathstalker has to help out along the way. And just the quibs back and forth between them is excellent. The action scenes are great. The sword choreography is excellent. I just really enjoyed this. I was thinking that this was going to be similar to the Red Sonja remake, where it was there aesthetically, but it wasn't there. It didn't feel like it in spirit. This took the greatness of the first Deathstalker film, and it threw in a touch of the director's own creativity and imagination to reimagine this property, and it came out better for it. He didn't try to remake it frame for frame. He took the old concept, he added his own special touches to it, and made it something absolutely unique and super fun to watch. I cannot wait until this gets a physical release because I'm going to own it. I've watched it twice in 2 days just because it just landed for me. You know what I mean, guys? It just landed. It felt like I said, Evil Dead, you take a little bit of the movie Your Highness, you take a little bit of just comedy, and you mix it all together, and you give it a unique look, you give it a unique sound, and it's fun, guys, and I highly recommend checking it out. If you get the opportunity to rent it or see it at a limited release or something, definitely watch it, guys. It is worth your time. It is worth your money. I am looking forward to more of Kostansli's work, because Kostansli's work. That is a dude that knows how to make a film on a budget, and they don't look stupid. They don't have the best production quality, but they don't look stupid. That's the thing. They look like a soap opera, maybe an episode of Power Rangers, but they don't look dumb and unbelievable. And I applaud him for his eye to detail. I applaud him for his way to see a scene and to set up a scene. And in Deathstalker, like I said, guys, he does it to the max. I think that this, The Void, and Psycho Goreman are his 3 top films, and this being number 1 as of right now. I loved this film, guys, and I think you will too. Give it a shot. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for a little bit, guys, and talking about Deathstalker. Hit that like and subscribe button for me on the way out. And as always, my friends, I am going to keep making them as long as you keep watching them. Peace out. God bless you, and I will see you soon.